Hi and welcome to ThePrint. My name is Karanjeet Kaur. I'm a journalist and an editor. Let's talk today about the upcoming Serendipity Arts Festival and how it has become the highlight of Goa's cultural calendar. I'll never forget the rush of joy I felt when I first got to read an actual poem on the underground in London. The project, started by three friends almost 40 years ago, feels a little like receiving an unexpected private gift in public. For decades, these verses have softened the rub of the evening commute. These are quiet little interventions in urban routine that transform London's most pragmatic mode of transport into a site of contemplation. Next week, Panjim will revisit this tradition. In shuttle cabs moving between different venues at the annual Serendipity Arts Festival, 6 poets will share their verses with commuters, not through printed placards, but through intimate performances. The poems in Hindi, English, Punjabi, and Konkani will expand the definition of public art by a few notches, where the line between performer and audience dissolves into conversation. This small but significant intervention, curated by poet and artist Lalit Chaturvedi, captures the spirit of the festival's 9th edition. Through art installations that remain incomplete without human mediation, and accessibility programming that reconstructs limitation as creative possibility, Serendipity isn't merely occupying Panjim spaces. It's inviting the city and its people to co-author a new cultural chronicle. In a way, this approach feels natural to Panjim, a city that encourages aimless wandering and discovery. This is best symbolized by the Goan balcao, a space between home and the world, simultaneously public and private. This year, the festival has given this architectural element wheels. Travelling balcaos is a mobile public art installation and will traverse the city's neighbourhoods. In a world where chatting feels like a luxury, these moving verandas offer strangers the chance to become friends. This re-envisioning of traditional spaces extends into other exhibits and corners across the city, such as the Panjim Cube project. Here, artists were invited to conceptualize an 8 by 8 by 8 foot cube suspended somewhere in the city, which beckons passers-by to step inside and immerse themselves. Meanwhile, in the Memory of Birds exhibit, Lebanese-British artist Tanya Al-Khoury, in collaboration with a trauma therapist, invites us to a somatic experience crafted from the sounds of migratory birds. Several of these participatory projects have been curated by the artist duo Thukral and Tagra. All of this as part of the exhibition Multiplay. Spread across an entire floor of the old GMC complex, this exhibition brings together artists from various disciplines. This includes visual artist Ellen Talur, fashion designer Himanshu Shani of 1111, graphic novelist and filmmaker Sharnath Banerjee, musician Talveen Singh, and social design collaborative. Here, traditional boundaries between viewer and artwork dissolve entirely because the exhibited pieces remain deliberately incomplete until activated by human presence. It's a radical departure from the conventional museum model, where meaning flows only in one direction, from institution to the viewer. Multiplay takes off from Thukral and Tagra's belief in art that attracts engagement from the viewer, resulting in a different kind of intimacy between two people that are co-creating. They told me in an interview. It works around the boundaries of relational art. The artist becomes a kind of facilitator and also learns through these experiments. It's a little like a sandbox. Thukral and Tagra are part of the curator group that has put together Serendipity's visual arts programming. This participatory spirit weaves through every discipline at the festival. Zubin Balaporia and Bikram Ghosh curate a music section that blurs genre boundaries. In the culinary arts, the collective edible issues turn food into narrative, exploring how what we eat carries stories of caste, community, and resistance. Perhaps most significantly, Lalit Chaturvedi steps into the pioneering role of accessibility curator. The festival's focus on accessibility goes beyond standard checklists. At a previous edition of Serendipity, Chaturvedi had mounted an outdoor photography exhibition titled "The Places My Chair Likes to Go." But it was the accompanying installation that gave visitors pause. Chaturvedi had installed 2 ramps, one built to standard specifications and another steeper one which was more challenging to use. Chaturvedi explained his point. Access means that I should be able to use things on my own and not that someone has to push me up a ramp. The installations drew a lot of attention, especially from young children. This year, Salil Chaturvedi's curation expands that philosophy even further. Nature's Symphony, for instance, is a collaboration with the Goa Bird Conservation Network that reimagines bird watching for people with visual impairments. Through sensory aids and audio descriptions, participants explore birds through sound, touch, and presence. Another event is called Blind Date with Friends, where a participant with sight pairs with a visually impaired person to discover the festival together, enriching both their understanding of art and public spaces. One of the phrases of the disability movement is, "Nothing about us without us," Chaturvedi told me. These reimaginings of inclusivity reflect a deeper truth about how cities hold and nurture culture. Smriti Rajgaria, the director of the festival, told me that Serendipity began with an academic question. Can Indian cities, like their European counterparts, sustain themselves on culture? In Panjim, Serendipity found more than just a venue. It uncovered a city whose very design fosters cultural communion. Its walkable streets and networked communities echoed cities like Adelaide and Edinburgh, where festivals have woven themselves into the urban fabric. Under Rajgadia's stewardship, Serendipity has grown in scale and ambition while demonstrating how we might imagine our cities as living archives of human connection. It's a reminder that culture isn't just something that happens to a city. It's something that the city and its people create together.